and welcome back, and today I want to continue my look at third-party clouds versus NAS. Once again, we are going to be using the Synology DS1618, but there are QNAP, Asustor, Drobo and other NASs available, and pretty much all of the things I talk about in this video can apply to most NAS providers. It's just how you go about it that differs ever so slightly. But let's look at one of the most popular third-party clouds out there, Google Drive. With so many of us buying Google phones and all of them arriving with a certain amount of storage, a number of us just find the versatility and ease of Google Drive as very, very straightforward. I'm going to keep this very nice and quick compared to the other video, because it did go on a bit, didn't it? But Google Drive, you all know the familiar layout of it. You've got the drive, you've got your folder structure, you can share files and folders, you can upgrade that storage, and you get 15 gig for free. And there is a mobile client that you can install on your PC or Mac that lets you synchronize folders and files, so that you can access files on your local level that are backing up over the internet, but those files still exist on your PC or Mac. On top of that, there's a mobile application that lets you access your drive directly from your mobile phone, once again for backing up, for synchronization and more. Once again, you can open all of these files and folders inside the drive, and that means Word documents, music files, pictures, video, the works. So again, there's a reason why it's such a great, versatile and easy tool. But I'm here to champion NAS. I'm here to tell you why I think NAS is the better option. Because when you look at these two side by side, the first thing that strikes me is the fact that if you go into the Drive application from Synology, they are remarkably similar. Again, even the name is a little bit worrying there, isn't it? But take my word for it when I say that when it comes to storing your files on the internet, a NAS is a better way to do it. Not only because you've got internet level access, but because you've also got network access. It gives you the ability to access your files and folders directly over your network and rather than the internet, and save you from relying on your upload and download speeds with which to access your files. Now, there are so many reasons why a NAS is better. The obvious one is cost. I talk about in other videos the fact that, let's look at Google Drive's pricing structure. 15 gig is free. You can get 100 gig for $159 a month, a terabyte for $7.99 a month, and those prices do go up and up, all the way up to 30 terabytes, I believe, and that costs £240 a month for 30 terabytes, which is a lot of money. But when it comes down to it, if you are using a NAS server if you're using online cloud storage, I should say, for 2 years, that number you have to divide by 24 because of 24 months. And therefore, the amount of money you're spending is criminal in some cases. Now, I've done a breakdown here, as I mentioned in the other video. These are the Google Drive subscriptions for 15 gig, 1 TB, 2 TB, 10 TB and 30 TB, and how much they cost per month. And remember, that's one user, not multiple users. That's for one user to have that level of space. Over 2 years, it comes to these. And look at that one at the bottom. For 30 terabytes, £5,700. Now, these are NASs you can buy for much, much less in some cases. Look at that one at the bottom. You're saving £3 there, 4 at a push in some cases, depending on the unit you go for. And it's worth noting that not only does this include the storage, but this also includes RAID storage. So what that means is, in the same way that third-party clouds are protected because of server farm backups, data on your NAS, although it's not a backup, RAID is there to save you if one of your drives fails. Another thing to bear in mind is that both of these NAS providers, along with Drobo, Dropbox, Asustor, and not Dropbox, what am I saying? Asustor, Drobo, Thecus, brands like that, and WD, is all of them can synchronize and migrate with third-party cloud providers as well. Nothing's stopping you having both, but this is about having your primary means of internet level access to your files, which brings us back to that word internet again. Because cloud providers only give you internet access. Sure, you can synchronize with a local folder, like I did with Dropbox here, and this means this folder will constantly synchronize with Dropbox, and Google Drive have this very similar thing. But it's always going to be the internet, and if you have constant backups from that folder, and you put big files into that folder, your internet upload is going to be consumed with the uploading of those files. You might do it maybe 2 AM, you can do a daily backup, but then you don't have a backup to those files from day to day. And NAS gives you the ability to access over the network. That means these files are being accessed via your land area network. That means without the internet, without going outside, all of this is done internally. You can, of course, access a NAS externally using the Quick Connect function, whereby you sign up to Synology for free, and with your NAS, you have the ability to access this NAS via the internet. It creates a link based on your username. In the same way Google Drive have your own URL there. This gives you your URL, you access it, and then it will refunnel towards your device. And this gives you the ability to access your device via the internet. And I know that switches to the IP there, but trust me, it means it gives you internet access. On top of that, you've got, with Google Drive, one mobile phone app. You've got lots of Google Docs, Google Sheets, that sort of thing, but ultimately when it comes to the storage, one app. Synology, QNAP, and all of them have 10, 15, 20 in some cases, and these apps are tailored. And these are for mobile phones, iOS and Android, that let you access files in a far more tailored fashion. DS Photo for viewing photos and optimizing thumbnails, DS Music, DS Note, DS Video, and more, as well as surveillance by adding cameras, something none of which, I should say, you get with Google Drive. You can install some of the Google applications to your phone that will access your Drive storage, but again, they're not tailored in the same way. Now, a NAS will cost you less in the long run. Of course, you have to spend more at the beginning, but it will more than make up for that money. 2 years down the line, maybe you've gone for one of those expensive Google Drive packages, good for you. But after 2-3 years, what if you want to close that account? Where's that data going to go? You're going to have to sign up for another cloud account elsewhere and continue to pay for storage you can't touch. Alternatively, you can put that money into a NAS and then remove your data from the cloud onto the NAS, in which case you should have bought the NAS all along. And that's the point. It's the idea that if you buy third-party cloud storage now for anything more than a terabyte, it's not worth going for because you are losing money all the time. Also, a NAS gives you tailored access and the ability to create 50, 100, 200 users, all with their unique login and their own permissions. You can completely create an entire network of users, all of them in teams, in groups, departments, the works. Whereas with Google Drive, every account is for one user. You can create a team account, but you've got to pay more. And all of those users will have 1 gigabyte, 1 terabyte each, depending on how you do it. So again, that's why I champion NAS versus third-party clouds. It just gives you more for your money, and the amount of access, along with the packages for things like virtual machines, Plex Media Server, and more, as well as applications that are very similar to that of Google Docs, Google Sheets, and more, means that you can access your files and folders in that same tailored way. You've still got that one means of access there, and we can go all the way in and look at our files and folders. So if we go to Team Folder, we look at the mixed files and folders. Maybe I should have backed that up. But nevertheless, you just get so much more from a NAS for your money than you do in cloud in the long run. But that has been Google Drive versus NAS. Do check out NAS. Again, QNAP, Synology, Asustor, Drobo, all of them support the features we've talked about, with the exception of a few. And again, remember, the one thing going for cloud is the fact you've got those backups and server farms. With a NAS, you have RAID, but it never hurts to have a third-party cloud just to back that up in some cases for those important files. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.